Go ahead and come to Tadasana. Keeping your feet about a fist width apart. Pressing down with your feet. Feeling all four corners of your feet on the mat. Don't lock your knees. Lengthening your spine. Crown of the head reaching up. Hips and sacrum. I guess that energy is like pulling down to the ground, making you really strong in your legs. At the same time, you're lifting the kneecaps up to the sky. Hands to heart center, thumbs pressing into the sternum pressing into thumbs. From here, let's go ahead and move into tree. Placing all of the weight into that right foot. Lifting up your toes and bringing them back down to the mat, really spreading them, making them like your roots. Here, the root of your tree. Don't lock your kneecap, keeping a slight bend in the knees. You can either kickstand your foot on your calf here, on your ankle, I should say, or you can bring your foot to your calf here, or you can bring your foot all the way up to your thigh, inner thigh. Make sure you're pressing evenly with both feet. If you start to shake here, that's fine. We really want to build our strength and build our balance here, and shaking is great for that. Taking long breaths here. Making sure that the lifted leg, the pinky edge side of the foot is pressed into the standing leg, really opening the hips. Let's go ahead and inhale and raise the branches to the sky. You may want to look at something that's not moving. To help keep your balance. Next inhale, let's go ahead and drop the foot back to the ground. From here, we're going to move into warrior. Stepping your right foot out in front of you as we bend the knee, as we slide the left foot back behind us, keeping the left foot at a 45-degree angle and keeping the knee in line with the ankle, stacked atop the ankle, in line with that second toe. You don't want to be in like this. You really want to make sure that we're placing the weight on evenly on both feet. Keeping the torso long and lengthened. It's not really squared because you're not really to the side here. You're kind of facing this way. On an inhale, you're going to reach the arms out, extending your fingertips to opposite sides of each other. You can act as if you were squeezing a grapefruit in between your shoulders. Breathe. On your next inhale, we're going to reach back, rainbowing that right arm over as the left hand drops to the back of the left thigh. Heart slightly reaching up towards the sky, reverse warrior. Gazes up. From here, we're going to straighten that right leg. Exhale. As we extend, or as we reach the right hand out in front of us as it comes to the ground, it can either come to a block, to your shin, or to the mat as the left hands or left fingers are reaching up towards the sky. Gaze is up or down, whichever feels comfortable in the neck. Make sure you don't overextend your knee here, so keeping a slight bend in the knee. And how you can do that is grip your toes into the mat, keeping that foot at a 45-degree angle in the back. Next exhale, go ahead and drop that left hand to the mat. Start to bend in the front right knee and step up your left foot about a foot, keeping your toes angled out. And on an inhale, you're going to really make sure, actually on an inhale, pulling back on your right hip crease, pulling forward on your left hip crease will help keep the hips square. And exhale, fold. Inhale, lift. I'm really starting to shake in the front leg, guys. Exhale, fold. And as I got into the pose, the shaking stopped. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, go ahead and plant your hands into the ground, bending that right knee and stepping your left foot right next to the right foot. Inhale, we'll come in to Tadasana. Hands over the head. Exhale, hands to heart center. And let's go ahead and do the other side. Planting your weight into the left foot. Don't lock your knee, keeping your knee slightly bent. Good to take a breath there. You can kickstand your foot, bring it to the calf, or you can bring it all the way up to the inner thigh. Hands to heart center. Pressing evenly with both feet. The right foot is, you're pressing the pinky edge of that foot. Keep the hips open. Sending the hip energy, the tailbone, you're sending that energy down to the ground. Inhale, stand here, crown of the head reaching up. Inhale. Let's reach our fingers, reach our branches up to the sky. And like I say, look at something that isn't moving. Breathe here. Exhale, go ahead and drop that right foot to the mat and shake it out a little bit. We'll get into warrior in the left. So bending that left knee, keeping it atop the ankle, keeping it in line with that second toe. Right leg extended out behind you as the right foot is at a 45-degree angle. Inhale, reaching the fingertips out. Squeezing that. We're going to have some nice grapefruit juice after this. Really feeling that. I'm feeling it in my my quads right here, getting a little bit of a shake. On your next inhale, go ahead and reverse the warrior, bringing the left arm up and back behind. It's like rainbowed over you, Heart slightly up to the sky as the right hand drops to the right thigh. Tight in my hip here. On your next exhale, start to straighten that left leg as you send the hips back, dropping the left arm to a block, shin, or mat as the right fingers extend up to the sky as the gaze follows. On your next exhale, go ahead and plant that right hand down to the mat as you bend in the left knee slightly, stepping the right foot up about a foot, keeping the right foot at an angle. Pulling back on the left hip crease, pulling forward on the right hip crease, keeping the hips squared. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale. On your next inhale, go ahead and bend that left leg slightly, stepping that right foot to meet the left. Forward fold. On an inhale, hands reaching up to the sky. Exhale, hands to heart center, Tadasana. And from here, we are going to do our flow. So, a little bit different here. We are going to add plank to this. So, and instead of jumping back into plank, we'll go back into a downward facing dog, and then we'll roll into plank. Get some nice movement in the spine. So on inhale, arms up, hands to heart center as we fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Planting those hands, we're going to step back into downward facing dog. As we come into plank, we're going to come up to our tippy toes as we roll or wave the body forward, rolling that spine, shoulders over the wrist under the shoulders. Tummy is tucked in tight. Plank. Exhale, dropping our knees to the mat. I'm going to move back a little bit. Dropping our knees to the mat, you can either come down to a chaturanga or you can do ashtangasana like I'm going to do here, shifting the body forward, bringing the chin, chest to the mat, booty up to the sky. Inhale, low cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, stepping or jumping to the top of the mat, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, pressing the feet so much into the mat, slight bend in the knees, rounding the back as we come to standard, hands meeting above the head. Exhale, hands to heart center. From here, we're going to move into crescent lunge. Another nice balancing pose. Not only is it nice and balancing to get your balance, but it also stretches out your inner thighs, which is really nice. So on an inhale, let's go ahead and lift the arms up as we bring the right leg kind of at a 90-degree angle, bringing the right knee up. On an exhale, we're going to lean the body forward as we start to kick the right foot back behind us. Bringing the toes down to the ground. Coming into crescent lunge. I can really feel this pose right here. On your next exhale, go ahead and drop that right hand to the mat, keeping your legs just as is, reaching that left arm up to the sky. Exhale, dropping that left hand to the mat. We're going to go ahead, step that right foot to meet the left foot as we come to Tadasana. Slight bend in the knees, rounding the back. Inhale, hands meet above the head. Exhale, hands to heart center. Let's go ahead and take our flow and do the other side. Inhale, hands up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, planting the hands, step back into downward facing dog. Coming into plank, moving up to your tippy toes, waving the body forward. Shoulders over the wrists. Wrist under the shoulders, tightening that tummy. You can come down to chaturanga, or you can drop the knees and come chin, chest down, booty up to the sky, Ashtangasana. Inhale, up to cobra or low cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, step or jump to the top of the mat. Halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, pressing the feet into the ground so much, we come to standing, hands meet above the head. Exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, lifting the arms up, left leg comes up, and it stays at a 90-degree angle. On an exhale, you're going to shift the body forward, shifting that left leg back behind you, staying on your toes, keeping the toes tucked. Make sure that your feet are on train tracks so that you'll keep the pose easier if they're on train tracks and not in line with each other. Crescent pose, reaching the fingertips up to the sky. On your next exhale, let's go ahead and drop that left arm to the ground as we take a twist. Gaze is up towards the sky. Right fingers are reaching up towards the sky. And breathe here. Next exhale, go ahead and drop that right hand to the mat. And let's go ahead and step back, downward facing dog. Let's take some small steps up to front of the mat. And let's come into standing. That feels really, really good. So we're going to do our last flow before we bring it down to the mat. Go ahead. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, hands to heart center as we forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, planting those hands, Stepping back into downward facing dog. And coming to our tippy toes on an exhale, rounding and waving the body forward. Plank pose. Pushing the ground away, shoulders over the wrist, tightening the tummy. Dropping the knees to the mat on an exhale as we drop our chin and chest to the mat as well. Inhale, low cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, step or jump to the top of the mat, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, pressing the feet so much into the mat, slight bend in the knees, rounding the spine as we come to Tadasana. Hands to heart center. So from here, let's go ahead and lift the arms up to the sky. Exhale, hands to heart center as we forward fold. Planting the hands as we start to bend in the knees, and we will bring our booty all the way down to the ground. Let's go ahead and scoot back, crossing our legs and bringing the body forward, coming into child. Taking several long, steady breaths during this pose. On your next inhale, let's go ahead and press the hands into the mat as we come to seated on our heels. What we're going to do now, guys, is we're going to do camel pose. And since this is a beginner's class, I'm not going to do full camel. I'm going to do an entry level to camel. I found that it helped me out, especially with the low back problems that I have. You want to make sure that you do this pose correctly. All right, let's go ahead and come up to our knees. Some of you can keep your toes down. Some of you might want to tuck your toes. I find that in the balance, for me, tucking the toes is a lot easier. You want to make sure that my knees are about their hips distance apart. So that would be 2 fists in between your knees, apart, roughly about. From here, you want to make sure that we're going to pretend that we're standing next to a wall here. We're going to pretend that our hip bones are glued to that imaginary wall. Okay, because the only part of the body that we want to move back is our torso. And we want to, all the bending is going to be from this part of the back. We don't want to overextend the low part of the back. So, gluing your hip bones to this imaginary wall, you're going to place your hands on your back. You can either have the fingers going up, or you can have the fingers coming down, but placing your hands right at your low back. So this portion of your back right here, right where you bend. For a guy, it's going to be a little different because they bend a little bit lower, but right where a woman bends. Gluing those hips to the wall, placing your hands behind you for support as we start to extend the torso back, chest to the sky, heart up to the sky. Breathe here. As you come out of this pose, you want to make sure that you bend at the hips a little bit, kind of like shifting your body forward. Head and neck are the last thing. Come back up. Get that? We're going to try that pose one more time. Camel is a challenging pose, especially to get it right, because you can tense up in your neck and crink your neck, which I do, and I leave my shoulders. So hopefully I didn't do that in this pose. And also really hurting this portion of the back. The low back right here, the sacrum area, This portion of my back is the part that gives me the most pain, and it feels like it's fused, and I know I'm not alone out there. So we're going to start to move that, get that moving like it should, moving and grooving. Now we're going to get into some nice floor work, extending your feet out in front of you. What we're going to do here is we are going to lift the arms up to the sky, lengthening the spine, toes reaching back towards your face so your feet are flexed. Exhale, we're going to fold. We're just going to bend at the hips, keeping the torso long. You're looking straight out at you. Wherever your hands can be, you want to inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. So some of you may be up here or here, which is fine. Just make sure that you keep your spine lengthened and long. Inhale. Inhale, lengthen the spine. Exhale, fold. And maybe you can come a little bit closer, or fold a little bit deeper, is what I should say. Couple more breaths. Inhale. Let's go ahead. Raise the torso up. Let's move to our backs. Bringing the knees into the chest and giving yourself a nice hug. Good job. Woohoo! We held our poses. We're getting stronger. We're shaking. We're building heat. And we are learning how to be stable. Next exhale, go ahead and drop the feet to the mat. Extend your legs out long in front of you. Dropping the hands. Just open them naturally by the side. Let the feet fall open naturally. Start to feel your body. Feel all the energy or the prana running through your body. Giving gratitude for your beautiful life. Maybe saying a prayer here and giving thank yous for being able to move your beautiful body. On your next inhale, go ahead and start to wiggle your fingers and your toes. Bringing your knees up to your chest. Giving yourself another little hug. Ooh. You go ahead and bring your forehead to your knees. Keeping your eyes closed. Roll over to one side or the other. Taking a moment here in fetal position. On an inhale, let's go ahead and place whichever hand, the top hand, into the mat and come to seated. I'm going to move back to the middle of my mat. Let's go ahead and replace whatever we were sitting on. Keeping your eyes heavy. Placing your hands on your knees, letting a beautiful smile come across your face, and opening your eyes. Thank you for joining me this week. Thank you for joining me for this session. I feel really good and strong. I feel like I built a little bit of heat, and I feel like I gained a little bit of balance. Every time I go on a bike ride, I tend to lose balance and I get shaky. So it's nice to be able to hold the poses and not shake so much. Anyway, guys, if you enjoyed this video, please give me a thumbs up, leave some comments below, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button. I'll see you guys next week. Take care and namaste. Oh, well, let's go ahead and do this the right way. Hands to heart center. Thumbs meet at the third eye as we bow forward. And say namaste. Thank you, guys. I'll see you next week.